Look, we love talking Texans football on this channel, and I wanted to come on here after the game. Look, I was given all the props. Look, I understand. I get it. We're Lions fans. We don't hide that. We've never hid that before, so we're not going to hide it now. But, man, hard-fought game. That was nuts. We're not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about why the Texans are going to get right, and they're going to beat a team that all of us can agree we all hate, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys do not stack up well against anybody, but they definitely don't stack up well against the Houston Texans. So we're going to jump into some of the numbers on that. But before we do that, I'm also going to tell you that we are going to jump into some more good news because you got a baller coming back. And if this baller was here, you would have won last week. And quite frankly, CJ Stroud would have been back at it much sooner. So let's get into that. But let me ask you a question. As a Texans fan, who is the team you hate most? Who is the team you hate most? Is it somebody in your own division, right? Is it the Jags? Is it the Colts or something like that? Or is it someone that you only play once every 4 years like the Cowboys just because you hate the fact that Texas is like, oh, Cowboys, and they're America's team and all that kind of stuff. But the fact is the Texans are just a better run organization. I really think they are. As weird as that sounds, they are. It's a disaster with Jerry Jones, and that is why a lot of these statistical categories are going to work for you. I'm taking out a lot of the offensive stats for the Cowboys because they're without Dak Prescott, but there's still a lot of things that go in your favor. The first one is the turnover margin, and I'm telling you, like, this is just a video of good news because you know what? You deserve some very, very good news. All right, everybody, that's what you are going to get. All right, you have earned it, and I want you to have it. All right, so start with the turnover margin. They're negative 1.1. You have a plus 7. They're almost last in the league. You're a top 10 team in the league. It's supposed to be negative 11, by the way, I think is the way that's actually supposed to work. So anyways, I just wanted to make sure everybody knew that. Scoring defense. They have the second worst scoring defense in the league. Like, let's just talk about that for a second. For an offense that has been reeling, and you're getting weapons back, and you're getting back to what your offense was last year with the addition of Joe Mixon, your offense should be able to get back on track. And so and against this Cowboys defense that flat out hasn't been good. And I understand they get Micah Parsons. I get that. They have not been good. They haven't been good. Zimmer can't get it done. All right. You go into the passing defense. They're middle of the pack. You have a great passing defense. They should be one-dimensional against you, and that's running. And if they can only run, your run defense is phenomenal. I think you guys have one of like the second best defense when it comes to running back production in the league. You have a really good run defense. You have a really good pass defense. And so that is something that you should absolutely be looking at. Your yards rushing defense, just total yards, you're 11th in the league. They're awful. That means that you should be able to establish the run with Joe Mixon. And what's good is with the new offensive line formation that you used last week, two things became very clear. The protection when it came to throwing the football and passing was better. It absolutely was with this offensive set, but they have some work to do in the run game. They have some, part of that was the opponent. Not a lot of pass rush and a really good run defense. But you'll be able to find out if this new offensive line formation can work running the ball as well. All right, total defense, you're third in yards per game. They're 26th. You should be able to move the ball up and down the field. Do you see what I'm talking about? How they just keep getting good news? I know that it was a tough loss, but now good news is coming. You're still absolutely, and I'll go back to some more of the stats in a second, but don't forget, like, you are still absolutely in the driver's seat in the division. The only team that's even thinking about being like, hey, we got a shot is the Colts, and you swept them already, and now they're going back to Anthony Richardson, even though they said that they were going to stick with Joe Flacco. They don't know what to do because they're not good. So this is a team right now, what I'm looking at if I'm the Texans is I got 7 games. I got 7 games to figure out what the identity of this team is this year. What is this team going to look like this year? I'm not worried about winning the division. I'm not worried about placement in the playoffs. I'm worried about getting to the playoffs because I'm not even worried about getting to the playoffs because you're there. All I'd be worried about is how are we going to get better as a team? The wins will come. At the end of the year, you'll be a playoff team. Just think about that. All right. The sacks thing, they don't get a lot of pressure on the quarterback. So CJ Stroud should absolutely have some time. So let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Nico Collins. He's supposed to be back this week. Fantasy owners everywhere are rejoicing, and Texans fans everywhere are rejoicing because Nico Collins is a dude. He is that man. All right. And when I think about Nico Collins and I think about what he did last year, and then what he did, was it 4 games that he played before he got hurt? Whatever it was, Nico Collins is now, he hasn't done the longevity of it, but he has firmly planted himself in that realm of receivers of A.J. Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Mike Evans and these guys that are top tier. And I'm telling you, more than any of them, he's knocking on the door for that Justin Jefferson, the Jets, not the New York Jets, like Jets. That's his nickname, right? Justin Jefferson. But Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, like he's knocking on the door for something like that. He's sitting here he's a big man. He runs honestly pretty darn good routes. He's big enough to be physical, but he's not so big that he's not fast. The guy is just a beast if he can just get these hamstrings right. And so when you look at that, it's good. D'Amico Ryans was hilarious. Here's what he had to say. He said before he was out, he was the top receiver in the league. I think anytime you get him back, it's going to help everybody. I think the very specific question that was asked in that was, will Nico Collins help CJ Stroud? What do you think? And the answer is yes, he will. CJ Stroud in the first 4 games this year, Indy, Chicago, Minnesota, Jacksonville. All right, 2 of those defenses are phenomenal. He was good, though. Against Chicago. I don't think anybody played better against Chicago. He was 23 of 36 for 260 yards and a touchdown. That's really, really good. He went for 345 against Jacksonville and 333 against Buffalo, right? And then other injuries started to happen. And what you've seen in the last 5 games is 192 yards, 86 yards at Green Bay. 285 against the Colts because people throw against the Colts, but then 191 and 232. It's been hard to sustain. And when you get a massive weapon back like Nico Collins is, it is only going to improve what CJ Stroud does. CJ Stroud is still that quarterback. When he has time, when he has the ability to throw, he is still extremely accurate. He is still a good decision maker. He is still mobile. Don't worry. Okay, second-year slump. We hear about it. If this is a second-year slump, I can't wait to see what he does in year 3. But like I said, they don't have to worry about stuff right now, so they can just focus on getting better. Don't worry about the playoffs. Don't worry about the division. That's going to take care of itself. Just worry about getting better. And I think by the end of the year, you're going to see a Texans team that's in full tilt, ready to go, healthy, and somebody that could be a threat to knock some people off in the playoffs because the defense is even better this year for sure. All right. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we'll see you on the next one. And for more Texans content, hit that subscribe button. Or if you just love watching NFL and you love hearing about the NFL, we're just a couple guys who are trying to give a non-biased opinion. See ya.